Wish me
Oh
luck.
my God. OMG. Oh my God. This is awesome. This is awesome. You know what? Just now I was talking to Balkizz at the backstage. Guys, if you're watching this already, right, you need to hit the refresh button to come back to this another live session that I'm having with Balkizz over here. Now, this is one of the best experiences I've ever had, man. Two live sessions going on, and I was listening to talking to two-person. Now, if you're in this session, you are in for a treat, because Balkizz is one of the most talented IG content creators I've ever met. We did a course together. In that course itself, right, she packed tremendous value. If you want to learn about this how to do IG content from Balkizz, in fact, if you go to tribeupacademy.com, you go to all the courses, you will be able to find her course, which is now evergreen on the website. But I want to really talk to you about Balkizz. This lady, you know how I got to know her? In fact, I learned about her a long time ago I stumbled upon her IG, and I realized, oh, this lady is good. She talked interesting sentences and all that. Then eventually I realized that, okay, she started to change her business a little bit and all that. And I was thinking, I must talk to this lady, but I got too busy, right? I got too busy but you know what? The other day, one day, my girlfriend was attending a class, an online class, and Balkizz was the coach. And I was, oh my God. And I sat there, listened through her whole training, and I said, no, I must talk to her. At that night itself, I texted her. That's how we got connected. At that night itself, before I sleep, I was talking to my girlfriend. I want to text this lady. I must talk to her. Her IG is insane. All you need to do is to go to Instagram and look for Balkizz Sulaiman. She is insane. She packed tremendous value in there. But I don't want to drag too long. Balkizz, share with us, come out and say hi to the audience. We have 40 over here at the moment. Yeah.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Hi, we have Chiwai here. We have another guy who is like on that, So, okay. So, what have you been doing lately in terms of your content, in terms of your direction?
Okay. It has been quite a crazy whirlwind since this year started. After our sessions and everything, and I'm still talking about content on Instagram and everything, but I also talk about Instagram business, about the growth and everything, because there's so many myths going on that has been thrown to us, like, oh, is this the way how you want to grow on Instagram? Is this how you create a content? Is this and everything? And I'm like, okay, I really need to set the record straight. So what I did was that I did a couple of collaborations and everything, and I went to Clubhouse, I did some live and everything. I even did some courses just to actually just a free webinar that I help people to get in track on what they're supposed to do on Instagram and not just follow any kind of Tom, Dick, and Harry myths that they just simply take and then destroy their Instagram entirely.
Wow, that's crazy, right? That's the thing, when we are on social media, it's always about, sometimes we have no choice but to follow the algorithm change. And a lot of times that's something that we have no control over. But there is something that we have control over, which is Balkizz is good at. How do you make your IG content so damn good? So Balkizz, I think you have some interesting tips to share, right? So what are the things that makes your IG content so damn good? Maybe we can go through one by one. But before that, Balkizz, I want to pin this lady. Alexander is your super fan.
Hi, Alexandra!
Hello. And we have Jao that you have not put your face. So this is Jao and this is Noor Arzlina. These are all your good friends. These are all your good friends, I believe. And we have Eden over here. Welcome. So if you guys have any questions regarding IG, right, you can actually follow Balkizz on her Facebook page. And we have another fan here, which is Rose Ling.
Instagram, Jason, Instagram.
Okay, sorry, Instagram, Balkizz Sulaiman. Sorry, I got too many things in my head. Instagram, look for Balkizz Sulaiman, and you will be able to see all the tips that she shared about this, seriously. And we have Nurul here. We have Intan here.
That's my cousin.
Yeah, and this is like Rose is saying you joined this because you bought all her ebooks.
Oh my God, thank you.
You see, this is the best thing ever, right? So I believe you already know how to make this, seriously interesting. So, what will be the important tips to make your IG content so damn good? Andrew is here. Maybe I bring him in.
Hey,
hi, Andrew.
Hello.
I love Andrew because he joined my class, He joined my class at the same time he bought all my ebooks. Andrew, you're a lifesaver.
Awesome. So over to you.
Okay, now everybody who wants to sell on Instagram, who want to do anything on Instagram, whether you're doing coaches or you're selling product or services, right? Actually, Instagram is where it's supposed to be. And a lot of people ask me why Instagram? Why Instagram? Because Instagram is not only that it have a visual base where you can actually see your face there, people can get to know you because you're showing your face there. At the same time, you can sell your you can show visually your product and services there. Okay, certain kind of platforms is only allow you to do videos. They can only do text, for example, but on Instagram you can do everything inside there. That's why Instagram is one of the best way for you to start. Or if you're already doing business, this is where you should be. But the main ingredient is that when you show up not only on Instagram but also Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, everywhere, do not sound infomercial. Now, what is the secret ingredient for us, I mean for you, to really make your Instagram post or any kind of post bombastic? Is storytelling. Now, I know you'll be like, oh, no, storytelling. Why storytelling? I mean, why should I go and talk about how I was being born when I was young and my mom pushed me and I was as big as a melon or something? No, that's not the kind of story that you're going to tell. No, it's not going to story about how you start your business. Sometimes it works for you to tell people how you started. But in order for you to really create content that really resonates with people, that's the key. Resonates. The story must resonate with your audience. The story must be relatable to your audience, and it pulls them emotionally. Okay, now a lot of you might be thinking, what kind of story can I tell? Now, this is the best thing. When you tell a story right from your heart, from your own experience, from your own I don't know, the things that you're doing, what you go through and everything, it not only create this connection, makes people understand who you are, and makes them feel heard, especially when you talk about resonating stories. Let me just grab one simple story. So for example, if you're selling, I'm just going to take one easy basic thing that Malaysian always sell, women especially, is the hijab, is the tudung. Okay, the scarf that we're using, and a lot of women are selling that. Fortunately, a lot of them also posting all of this only on their Instagram, just the scarf, and in the caption there's nothing tells them. It's just like the most basic thing. You take a photo of your scarf, of your product. For example, if you're selling chicken ring or something, right? And you post that to your friend, your best friend. You send it to their WhatsApp. Well, and then you tell her, hey, CT, for example, it's 9 ringgit 99. If you're interested, go and buy it from me. CT will be like, your best friend, right? If you send that to her, she'll be like, what? What is wrong with you? Why are you trying to talk like you're a seller? So the thing is, that's the thing about wanting to that's very common, isn't it? When you go to people's Instagram and you see that's what they would do. They would just post a photo of the product, and I'm just gonna put a title there or a caption there, buy my product and just DM me or go to this link and blah blah blah. That's pretty much it. But what if you tell them a little story? Okay, story that doesn't have to be complicated. Story is something that's so simple that you simplify the words in ways that they understand, and you go and tell them this chicken, no, just say something about, when I first tasted this chicken's recipe, I was blown away. Not only that it tastes so fabulous, but it just made this taste bud of mine just singing in harmonies and stuff. And you just create this kind of story. You notice what I was doing just now, right? It makes people imagine and picture the scene in their head. That storytelling is not just about the hero's journey. I know a lot of people say, oh, I know about this thing is more about the hero's journey, whereas the audience or the customer is the hero, and you're going to bring them to this journey, blah blah blah. Yes, that's it. But when it comes to content writing on social media, if you're going to go through that route, it's going to be quite a long way. And plus, you're going to create content every single day. If you're going to create every single day the same kind of content and talk about the journeys of this hero from A to Z every single day, it can be a bit tedious and you can be burned out because of it. You have no idea how to continue. That is why when I come up with this storytelling method that I've been sharing all around in my courses and everything, is more about simplifying. Remember, the most three things is that you simplify the story, the content and everything by using your everyday words. If your audience is speaking in Bahasa or in English, stick to that language so that they would understand it. And two, don't use complicated words that only you understand or those that are Harvard or Oxford graduate would understand, and the normal people like me have to open up a thesaurus to just understand what the word does that mean, or if you're using jargons. No, you're gonna use simple words, everyday words, really easy to be understood by people. And not only that, add emotion to the story. The emotions that you add in is not just to make people feel, but to make them picture it in their minds. So, okay, what do you want people to imagine? The thing is, when you bring them to that stage where they can picture in their mind and feel in their heart, that's when that content can really be fantastic. If you go to my Instagram, you will see I create a lot of this carousel education posts where I teach people about some stuff and business in Instagram. But in the caption itself is where I bring my audience into my world. This is where I bring them into the feelings or the emotions, the storytelling. And by this is how I build my Instagram fans. And this Instagram fans eventually become a big community who support who I am. Now, then again, why that brings to the back to the questions of why do you need to create all this kind of content with storytellings and everything? The best thing is not only that it will engage people, but also it brings people closer to you. When people become your fans and become your community, they're the one who's going to spread the news about you. So your cost for advertisement can be lowered down because they're the one who's going to tell people, oh, Balkizz is coming out with this new course. I'm going to tell my friends and family about it because I trust her and I went through it already and she's very good at it, blah, 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 blah. And I don't have to spend much money on spreading news about this course because they're already doing it for me. And all I had to do is just ask their help. And that's how this thing works. By creating stories, is very relatable. It connects, create connections and build trust. Not only to become buyers, that become your community and super fans. And going backward is that this community will start spreading the news about you and build you more people to come up. That's why for my Instagram, I tell you the truth, I only did advertisement one time just to get followers because I wanted to test. But instead of getting quality followers, I didn't get the kind of followers that would resonate with my content. Instead, when I do organic growth, means I use my content to pull people into my Instagram and also do organic engagement and everything. I get to bring these quality people who knows who I am and I know who they are. And that's where the personal branding becomes much more powerful. So that's just the power of storytelling and how you can really utilize it to create this really bombastic, fantastic Instagram or Facebook content or LinkedIn content. Even when you go on YouTube, when you have this kind of storytelling framework in your mind, by coming up with one, as I said, simplify it. You don't have to go into in-depth about when your mom was giving birth at you and you were the size of a baby melon and your mom was screaming to death. No, nobody wants to know about that. That's disgusting. Don't go and tell people a story like that. You got to tell a story that resonates with them, that connects with them. So this is where knowing who your audience is the most important thing. Who is your audience? You got to be very specific about it. A lot of people come up to me and say, why do I need to talk only to one audience when there's like bazillions of people on earth and I could just talk to anybody? Well, the thing is, when you can talk to one person, this person's problem very well, it's easier for you to create that kind of content that speaks to this one person. I'll give you a basic example, right? My ideal client is a woman at the age of 40 years old, and she's a mother of three, and she works now 8 to 5 in an oil and gas company, and she also runs a business. Unfortunately, she does not know how to create content much. She doesn't know how to go on social media because she fears that with her age, she feels like she's vying with the younger ones, and she feels quite insecure and quite embarrassed about it. Now, here I come in with my content that speaks to her and tell her that, hey, it's okay. I'm here to help you, to guide you and everything. And that way I know who she is. I can talk to her specifically about her problems. Now, when you hear my ideal client problems and her situation, you'll be thinking, is there a lot of women in that situation? Of course. Every time I create my course, the participants that comes in, the students that comes in, I can tell you 70 to 80% of them are mothers. And 70 to 80% of them are mothers who are struggling on how to create content on Instagram. And about all of them are women who are business owners. That's why it's very seldom for my course to have men. There are times I do have men, which is like Andrew the other day. And I was like, okay, I got one man here in my course, which was really, really rare, because that's how specific I am when I talk to my audience. I only talk to this person, and when I talk to them, I create a story that resonates with their struggles. Okay, like for example, as I said, what is their struggles? She finds it very intimidating. She finds it really embarrassing. She finds it very awkward for her to show up on Instagram because of her age. So that's where I come in and tell the story about myself on how I started on Instagram at the age of about 35-ish, I guess. Now I'm 44 years old. So how that story actually makes them feel seen. Then it makes them feel heard. Like, okay, I'm not alone in this. She faced it and she understands what I go through. So that forms some sort of relationship. And most of the time after they read this story, they will go and DM me and tell me, Balkizz, how do you know this? How do you get me? I feel heard. I feel seen because of what you shared. And from the DM itself, this is the beautiful thing about Instagram, about this DM place, where you can really form a relationship with them. You really get to know who they are, and they get to know you in return. So that is actually the main secret about getting this really fantastic and bombastic Instagram post or Facebook post. Even though you want to post on Facebook, tell a story, and the story must be relatable to them, that resonates with them, that makes them feel seen, that makes them feel heard, and add in the emotion so that you can pull it and makes them feel it. Plus, the most important thing when it comes to storytelling is not just a story like, yeah, today Ali went to shop and then he went to buy a couple of books and he came home, read the books, finish, and blah. It doesn't work that way. So what it does is that you can come up with a story that makes people imagine what Ali did. Ali woke up that day, pull up the curtain and saw it was raining. He felt devastated, but at the same time, it was such a cooling weather. It makes him feel nice all over. And he decided, okay, why don't I just go out and buy myself a book? And he would drive, water splashing all around. He can hear the thunder outside. That kind of thing. Of course, there is no such thing as elaborating the story to the point of no return. Okay, don't bore your audience with that. Just give a little bit of tips, a bit of story that makes them able to imagine it, able to picture in their mind, and makes them feel or see themselves in that situation. And I have another 10 more minutes. If you have any questions, I'm open to it.
Yeah, I just brought myself back. I'm
Yes.
back. Guys, I was in Balkiz's class firsthand, right? Because when she was running her class over there. Hang on. I need to coordinate the other room over there. It's crazy coordination that I'm having. Okay, so basically, you know what I love the most about her method is really about kind of like narrowing down to a very specific individual. Yeah, that's what she was sharing with you. You see, sometimes it's a very big mistake to think that you're actually able to talk to everybody. I totally resonate that. I totally agree with that, because if you're not able to narrow down and niche in, right, it's very difficult for you to actually create that kind of offer. Because recently we just went through, because I'm also doing a bit of a business coaching over here, so I kind of like have a framework to do that. But in terms of content planning, because Balkizz has a crazy experience in terms of hang on, I see something over here. Yeah, hang on, in a bit. Okay, so we're just talking about that a bit over here. So guys, if you have any questions, right, just quickly go through all these. Like Andrew was saying, if you have any questions, you can actually type away, because this is where we kind of like we'll learn from. But Balkizz, I just want to quickly check with you on this thing. Okay, so I can see that your content is it's crazy a lot on your Instagram. How do you keep up with all these schedule? Do you have a schedule? Do you have kind of like a simple framework on when you post, what you post on, specific one? Maybe just give us a glimpse of the idea on how you coordinate your content over here.
Okay, this question has been asked to me a lot of times. Yes, I do have schedules in posting, but in order for me to know what I'm going to talk about, because I know who my audience is, I know who I'm talking about. So it's easy for me to just come up with, okay, today I'm going to talk about this because I know she's struggling about this. Today I'm going to educate her about this because I know she needs it. Today I'm going to motivate her because she needs it. Okay? So I don't have to do batch content. Batch content means in one day you create like thousands and hundreds of content, and then after that you post it every single day. And after that, there are a lot of people who would advise you to do batch content. For me, I would not be able to do that, because when I create my captions or my content, it must come from my heart. If I don't feel that today that she needs, or I need motivation, or she needs to be educated, then I wouldn't be able to create that. It have to come from me. So if you're a person who you're very systematic, yes, do batch content. One day, or say for example on Monday, what you do is gather ideas on what you can create and stuff like that. Or on the next day you start creating the post, and after that you just post it every single time, every single day. But for me, I allocate 1 hour in a day for me to create my content, and that's pretty much it for me, because I have to be there to make myself be there for my audience. If not, it will just be too cold. That's how I experience it.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
No
Okay,
worries.
sorry. This is the first time we do this like an overlapping two side. That's why I was told that you guys can hear a bit of two guys over there talking. Okay, chill, guys. Hang on. I have to bring it back over here. I mean, you guys have to forgive me. This is the first time I do double live, guys. You can hear you. You gotta go slow.
I told you just now, Jason. This is fun.
Yeah, I know. This is crazy. I don't know, right?
It's fun.
Okay, but I think the experience is interesting, because the reason why we do this is really about kind of like finding a way to kind of jam pack everything. And we were thinking what are the methods and all that, but this looks a bit interesting. But sorry about that, Balkizz. For the interruption. But I really want to drill deeper on this. What are the common mistakes that Instagram, like let's say if we want to start doing Instagram content planning, what are the common mistakes that one should avoid when it comes to content planning on Instagram?
Not knowing who your audience is.
Exactly.
This is why every time I talk about this, get to know who you're talking to. If you're talking to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, your content will be everywhere. Say, for example, you're specifically talking about coaches. You can't just talk about coaches. There are millions of coaches in the world, and there are different topics that they're talking about. So if you want to target coaches, like, for example, those who only do mindset or do business, you know exactly what you want to talk to them. So if you just simply say, oh, I'm just talking to every coaches in Malaysia or in Asia, then you're pretty much just talking to in a big cave, and you're like, Jason,
What's up?
Jason.
I get you.
So
I get you. Right. That's
So
true.
that's the most important thing. Get that right. Once you get that right, it feels so much easier for you to know what you're gonna talk about, what you're gonna create content for, and everything. So and don't think too much about the image that you're going to post, like the photos or the poster. Sometimes that's irrelevant. What's most important thing is the what is it inside there? What's the message that you want to convey? Well, then you just mix it around with education, information, entertainment. It's not just education, or just selling. You gotta keep it balanced. That's why
True.
we have content pillars.
That's very nice. That's very nice. We have a very interesting question coming from the audience. You did not allow the name to be shown, so I couldn't see it. So, how to bounce back when it's been a while sleeping or withdrawal with content? Wow, that's a very interesting question. How to bounce
Does
back?
this mean that you've been not been posting on Instagram for a while, or your Instagram has been dead, or what? Or you yourself have no desire, or previously you haven't. I don't know what is this question is have to be very specific. How to bounce back when it's been sleeping withdrawal with content? Okay,
Probably
I'll just
because you
say
have not been planning posting for a while. Would that be that's
I
the
think
case?
I think it's because the Instagram is pretty much dead right now. So you can do posts. Okay, what you need to do is to wake up the algorithm and say, "Hello, I'm still alive," and you're just gonna post at least once or twice a day. Okay, use reels. So once or twice a day means you don't create just post. What you create is just maybe one post in reel feed. And then after that, you're gonna create reels after that, because reels can really wake up the algorithm. At the same time, you're not just going to post and then wait for people to come in. You got to knock on people's door. You got to go to your followers Instagram, and then you're going to talk to them, and then you're going to comment to them, watch their stories. That's how you wake things up. And you will see, if you keep doing this in less than 7 days, okay, in less than 7 days, that's about 14 posts, and engagement that you do in a day, maybe about 20 to 30 people that you have to wake up and say, hi, I'm Jason and I'm doing this right now. Oh, what's your posting right now? It's very, very good. And I really learned something. Oh, I love the nasi lemak that you're posting. It looks very delicious. These are the kind of engagement that you can really start making. So these people, in return, most of the time, they will go into your post and comment there too. And this will tell the algorithm on Instagram that this post that you're posting is good, and that people are engaging and people spending time there, and they will show more of your posts to the rest of your followers. I hope that answers your questions.
That's a very good one, seriously. But they actually came in about not posting for a while. But anyway, there is another question over here. How do you set audience? Is it possible to relate a single post to everyone? Example, gold accessories and all that. How do you?
Yes.
Okay.
You can set your audience, especially when you talk about those who wants to invest or want to. You see, for example, your or perfect ideal client is a woman who loves gold accessories for investment. Okay, it's not just for them to drink themselves or go like this, like the West Coast and stuff like that. So what they want is to focus on investment. So when in your post, you're going to talk about investing. This goal is for investment. This goal is in everything. You're going to talk about the benefits of investment. You're going to talk about how keeping goals instead of cash is much better and stuff like that. So eventually, your audience will start to see, okay, you're talking about this, and those who are not interested, they will unfollow, which is no problem. It doesn't hurt that they are leaving because they are not your good fit. You want those who really, really resonates with your content and love your content, because, as I said, those who like your content will become your buyer. So yes, this is how you do it. Content is the power. Your content is the one that's going to weed off those who are not important and bring more people who wants to know you and wants to buy from you. Hope that answered your questions.
Thanks. Awesome. Hang on. Give me a minute, huh? We have a few questions coming in, so we're gonna continue with
Ooh.
this one. Hang on.
Aye.
Hang on. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Sorry for the little mess. Okay, so it's showtime over there. Let me hit the live button over there, and we will come back to this. Hang on, not yet. Okay. Hiccup.
I love this experimenting, seriously.
They are live, and I'm gonna close this. I hope they are not being cut out. That should work. I don't know. Let me see. How many lives do we have here? Oh, this is interesting. Oh, they are there. They are doing their work. So we are here doing our work. Awesome. We have more questions,
Okay.
Balkizz.
Okay.
When do you start? Where do you start if you want to market your product and build a community? As in, how do you gain the credibility and trust? I think that's,
Oh, I
that's a
love
very
this. Is
interesting.
really
Yeah, this is a very good
very good
question.
question. Where
Yeah.
do you start if you want to market your product and build a community? For product based, right? This I gotta admit, I haven't been selling product for a while. And the first time when I started Instagram, yes, I was selling product. And back then, it was so much easy to sell product because Instagram was quite new. But nowadays, I'm more into digital product. But the thing is, even if you're selling product, right, it's also possible to build a community. The most important thing is, as I said, you're not going to do too much selling to them. It's okay to sell once in a while. Like, for example, in 7 days, your post, right? Maybe out of the 7 days, 3 days or just alternate days, you're going to sell your product. Or obviously, you got to sell your product. You're not just going to educate them about your product and everything. But building a community on Instagram is coming from definitely emotion. This is where your content comes in. When you got to, for example, the easiest way for you to build a community for your selling product is from the buyers who already buy your product. Okay, bring them in the conversation, especially featuring them and in the DM and everything. This is where you're really going to nurture them. And from these people, when they feel special, when they feel like they're being highlighted, they are being given attention, they're happy. That's the form of a community. Community comes in when they feel like you share a certain values with them, a certain kind of insights in their life and everything, and or you have a certain mission or passion, and even though that's not their mission, but they are passionate with your mission. Say for example, if you're selling shoes, I'm just going to get an example of shoes because I have a friend who is selling shoes right now, and she have about 200,000 followers, and she make like lots of money on Instagram, but just by selling shoes. Okay. And what she did was that when she built this community, she talks to her community in her content. Like, for example, she create games or saying that if you're happy with this color of the shoes, can you help me one thing? Can you help me name the shoes? And these people will start jotting down all the answers because they like to be heard. Okay. So if you want to start marketing your product, Instagram is one of the best place. At the same time, don't also forget other places to do it. But by building a community is by building your content first. And how do you get credibility and trust? Is your story. Definitely your story and your content. That's why do not ever underestimate the power of caption. Don't just you think that by putting say I'll just post something, say me and Jason like this right now, and I put there, thank you Jason for the opportunity, and that's it. That's just cool. People wouldn't know shit about that. So I gotta tell a little bit of story from there, and that's how people know. Oh, Balkizz appear in Jason's talk and everything. That must be because she's awesome. I am awesome, but
Of course you are. You just did mention that you're 44. Come on, man. If you don't tell, you're 25, Balkizz. That's the real thing, right? But thanks for the question and thanks for the answer. We have another question coming from Patricia over here.
Hi,
Patricia.
Patricia.
She's in bakery business, and what are the tips that you probably can share a bit about what kind of stories that she can write? But I think before Balkizz going into that, right, I believe, Patricia, you should consider taking up Balkizz's course that I already have published on my website, because that will give a lot of insights. Because instead of answering questions like this, which is good, of course, we love doing that, But if you want a structured way to like the framework, how do you think? How do you plan? How do you write? How do you put to test? How do you measure? These are all the things that is inside there. I think it's a crazy jam-packed 3 hours, right? If I'm not mistaken, Balkis.
Yeah, it's about 3 hours.
It's a crazy good course. You have to go and take a look. Go to chartupacademy.com, look out at all some of the courses over there, and then you'll be able to find that. Yeah. But over here, off the hook, do we have any tips for Patricia over here?
Some of the stories that you can tell. Like, for example, you're selling I'm just going to take anything right now, pies. Okay, you're selling pies, and I know you're making a lot of other kind of food or other kind of bakery goods, but what is your most top selling bake? I'll just take, as I said, I'm going to take an example. If chicken pie specifically, is your best product, best seller right now, so you're going to talk about how you started with selling. How did you fell in love with making pie? I didn't say how did you start that, okay? I said how do you fell in love with making pie? Because as I said, emotion. You want to pull people to the emotions. You're gonna tell a little bit of story on how you started that, and then how you fell in love with it, and what was the struggle that you faced with it. The reason is this: as I said, you want to build credibility, you want to build trust, right? People want to know who you are and what you do, and they like to hear the story of how you used to fail before this, because that makes you human. And when you're human in their eyes, they don't see you as this Kate Middleton or Prince William, but instead they will see you as Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Yeah, those couple are more human because they are normal people. Kate Middleton and Prince William, they're royals. They're just beyond us. We want to know more about the human side of us. So when you tell them about your struggles, instead, for example, you tell them a story about how you once, burn your cake or something. It's okay to share that because that makes you human.
Over here, Balkizz. Sorry to cut you. Patricia said gluten-free. I think that even gives you more angles to talk about because
oh my God, there's so
already,
many.
Yeah, that's a very niche. And when you have a niche, you have a cause. You have a cause, you can actually raise a flag and say that I'm doing this gluten-free because of some story, and the reason why we want to do that is because we want to help people live better life, and that becomes super good angle, right?
Yeah, I agree with that, Jason. I think this is more to because you're also a foodie, right, Jason?
I'm a foodie, yes, and I live keto life for many years.
Okay, so this is something that I want to tell you. Gluten.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's gluten.
Gluten-free means it's kind of like it's something that is like more healthy kind of product and stuff like that, in terms of making bread and all that. But yeah, that's an angle. But I think we answered the question, Balkizz. Yeah, I think that's good. Patricia, I hope that helps you. Okay, we want to quickly go over to more questions over here. Wow, this is good. So, okay, this is from Ronaldo asking, better platform for products is Instagram? For coaches or consultants, business, LinkedIn, what's your opinion?
Oh my God, go everywhere. If you can be everywhere. If it's feasible for you, if you have that time and energy, go everywhere. It's not specific. There are even dentists on TikTok. Okay, there are dentists on
Seriously?
TikTok. Yeah.
Dentists, what they do? They dance TikTok and play around how they play with.
No, not all of them dance. They educate people about gums, about diseases, about it's all this kind of stuff. So it's not just specific. Even I when I first started on Instagram, I was just selling product, and then I teach photography, and now I'm teaching content creation. Why am I doing content creation on Instagram? Why not LinkedIn? Why not a website? Why not Facebook? It's because initially I was a photographer, so I used that. But I found that Instagram have more than just product photos. You can do anything inside it. Just go to my Instagram. Trust me, you will find some of the posts that I created there are not actually visual photos. It can be words or just quotes.
But I think it's all good basically. But what I would suggest, if you're starting out, I probably can suggest that you start with one platform first, because it's good that you go everywhere, because that's the ultimate thing that we want to go. But if you start with everywhere, you get overwhelmed. So you pick a place, Because all you need to do is you need to start creating, bouncing it out, getting out to the world and start getting feedback from there, and you do the fine tuning along the way. I think that's an important thing. Now, once you get a hang of content creation, then you're able to repurpose the content to somewhere else. But you need to find a place first. So regardless whether is it for product, definitely if it's Instagram, that is for product. But if you look at Balkizz, she's also using Instagram as an anchor, which is the main content platform. Like Xander, who's in the other room, who's also doing kind of like on using Instagram, and he's also a consultant. So it's not about where is more suitable for what. I think it's more like, what are you more comfortable with? Which is the platform? Like for my case, my main platform is YouTube. Because I love talking, I cannot do all this design. I'm that lazy. What I want is I just fire up the camera, I just talk, then it become content for me. So it's up to you, right? But thanks for the question. And we have our last question. We take the last one. We have to let Balkizz go. And okay, now Nuro is asking, I'm actually currently selling skincare via Instagram. Yes, I did a bit of storytelling and certain emotion that thrills and excitement. I'm still having trouble reaching the audience. What are the other steps that I should take? Good question.
Engagement means you go to people's account. Now, what you need to do is choose 20, pick 20 big accounts with 10K and above, okay? And you have to see what is their niche. If their niche is talking about beauties, talking about makeup, those are your people because they're talking about skincare, right? But these 20 people who have 10K and above, you have to see whether they are very active and whether the comment section have a lot of people or not, okay? You don't want to go and post there and then nobody's going to look at your comment. The trick is you don't want these people to see you. You don't want this big account to see you. What you want is their followers to see your comment inside this person's comment, okay? And when you comment, you're not going to say, oh, good post. Yeah, that's a very nice makeup. Yeah. No, you're gonna give them really good comments. Like, for example, oh, I really love your skincare, and I love what you're doing with your I don't know, tutorial or whatever you're sharing. I'm also an Aspire makeup or skincare seller, and learning from you has been, helping me a lot in my business. Blah blah blah. Just create a couple of sentences, and this kind of comment, right? You don't care about the big people. You're going to care about these small people are going to start looking at it like, wow, this is nice. And if you're lucky, this Instagrammer, what they're going to do is pin your comment so that your comment is going to be the top one. So everybody's going to see it. Okay. At the same time, look for at least 20 to 30 followers, normal people, your friends or your family, and engage with them and encourage them to go to your Instagram to start posting, do a comment there too. And that's how you build your followers organically on Instagram. I know it sounds tedious, but if you don't have the budget for advertisement, this is what we can do. In less than a month, you can start seeing results coming in already if you do it every single day consistently.
$1 million advice, to be very frank. This is really something that you can do without spending a dime, and it works because resonated with a lot of people who have been doing this, and it's really something working. All right, so if you guys want to learn more, before we go, there is one from Intan thanking Balkizz. You gave her the idea what she needs to do, and awesome. Thank you so much, Intan. Glad to know. Now, guys, I think we have to wrap this right now. Thank you so much. Thank you, Balkizz, for staying with us up to now. Seriously, this overruns a little bit, but I don't think you mind. Now,
2 more minutes. I have a clubhouse session. Okay.
Correct. So I have to let her go. But if you want to learn from Balkizz in a structured way, go to my website. Look for the Instagram content planning. Right. So thank you so much. I'm going to jump into another one right now. Thank you, Balkizz. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.